Hello and welcome to the video. This is a quick video on this thing here. This is the G.T.Power X2Pro dual port charger. Now, a charger is an investment in the hobby, and it's worthwhile getting a really nice one, because if you get a really nice one, it's probably going to last you 5, 6, 7, 8 years. And dual port chargers, I think, are great for those when you're starting out. It means that you can charge 2 batteries at once, which will halve the charge time for the batteries that you need to go and take to the field. And as you get more into the hobby, then by all means get 3, 4 port chargers. But a 2-port charger is what I have behind me, and that works incredibly well on a day-to-day basis. Now, I've not really had any of these G.T.Power chargers in before. However, I have seen them in lots of the local shops here in the UK, so I thought I would get one in to try. If you are a user of G.T.Power chargers, please do let me know what you found them to be like. I don't really have a lot of experience here. Now, I'm just going to talk about my experiences with this particular one, but I'm interested for hearing from other owners about what they found they're like and how they perform over time. Now, this particular one has the ability to charge at 200 watts when it's plugged into an AC power supply. And it will also distribute that 200 watts in several different ways. You can have it set for smart, focus on the first pack that you start charging, or have it equally spread across the 2. If you're running it from a DC power supply, it'll go up to 400 watts. Has a funky ambient lighting strip at the front. We'll see more of that in a moment when I show you how it works. It also has a built-in tire warmer, servo tester, motor run function, and other things as well. So it's definitely more aimed at the guys and girls out there who like things like cars and trucks, where things like tire warmers are important, because those are features that I tend to find on chargers aimed at more of the flying community. Don't tend to crop up that much. The screen on it is very basic. We'll come back to that in a while, but there is a really nice mobile phone app that connects to it over Bluetooth that allows you to monitor what's going on and get far more information from what's going on with the charger than from the screen while it's actually running. It also allows you to set up the channel so that you can just plug the battery in and press go to. There's also some other nice stuff. It's got a lithium repair function for those times when you do accidentally discharge the battery below a decent voltage. Then normally, you know, the way you kind of rescue it is you stick it in NiCad mode, you run it on a trickle charge and keep your fingers crossed and watch the battery like a hawk and hope it gets above the level that the charger will then charge it as a lithium ion pack. This has a repair function, so if that's something that you regularly do, my advice would be don't. Batteries really don't like it. But if it's something that you do, there is that repair function too. There's also a battery heater function for those times when you may be racing or flying in colder conditions. You can warm the pack up. That's going to allow the conversion of the energy from the chemically stored energy in the pack to electrical energy in a far more efficient way. There's also things like charge count tracking, it's firmware upgradable, and it has some kind of nice features. The balanced charge current on this is quite beefy. It's nice 1 amp. So that means the balanced charge stuff doesn't take long at all. And it also nicely has the ability to discharge the battery that you're discharging into the DC power supply that you have connected. So if you're running off something like a car battery or a big set of lithium ion cells behind it, then you can dump that power back into those cells for other uses. As soon as you plug in the power, this thing is on, whether that's from AC or DC. It would have been nice to have some kind of power switch in there, so you could have just left it on your table, plugged in, ready to go, and then when you're ready to charge a battery, flick the little rocker switch at the back. Unfortunately, it hasn't got one of those, so as soon as you're plugged in, it will beep and start up. And then the menu navigation is very simplistic. The center button will change between the left and right channel, and the others will then allow you to navigate the menu. And if you have used any charger in the last 15 years with this basic kind of iMax B6 style menu, this is going to feel incredibly familiar. And with a little bit of time and effort, even if you haven't used a simple menu system like this, you'll be navigating your way around. And all of the common things that you want to get to are going to be there straight out the box. So if you already have a charger that has an interface like this, this is going to take you all of 30 seconds to get up and running. Interestingly, the weight of the charger all feels at the bottom. It feels very, very lightweight. It's like it's at the bottom and the front. So I think there's an awful lot of air inside this particular tall chassis. Maybe that's because they have the same chassis for other chargers too, and they wanted that additional room for other technology. In operation, it works really nicely. The fan at the back doesn't come on unless you're really pushing things. So in normal operation in an office, it's going to be nice and quiet and the fan's not going to come on at all. And when it's running, all you have is just those kind of sweeping funky lights along the front to let you know that something's going on. And of course, you can then download the app from the App Store for both Apple and Android devices, connect to the device over Bluetooth, and then you can kind of monitor what's going on even if the charger is behind you. Again, safety warning, never leave a charging battery unattended. You're just asking for trouble. When the charge is finished, there is a really nice loud beep that's clearly audible from the other side of the house, and I really like that. If you are slightly distracted or you do find that you need to leave the charger for a moment to go to the toilet, then you're absolutely going to be in no doubt that the charge has finished and you need to go and check on everything. Now, in the playing that I've had with this over the last couple of weeks, I have been impressed. It seems to have worked very, very well. I have found the interface a little bit basic for me, though. I'm used to chargers that have these full color interfaces that give you lots of information about what's going on when the charge is actually happening. Of course, with this, you really need to use your phone or tablet in order to monitor what's happening because the screen is very basic with just that 2 lines of text. But that does mean that if you've had any charger with a similar interface in the last 15 years, this is going to feel incredibly familiar to you. Do like the fact that that beep is super loud and you can literally hear it everywhere around the house. So even if you do get distracted, it'll tell you exactly when you need to come and check what's going on. And I actually really like the app on the phone. That's a really nice touch. Again, I would personally prefer that to be on the display. However, having that does mean that even if it's on the other side of the room, you can just have that propped up via your monitor if you're doing something on the computer and just keep an eye on everything that's going on. A couple of things to be aware of with this. Again, that interface is basic, so if you compare it to lots of other modern chargers, you will find that it looks a little bit old school, but some people like old school. There's no option to check the resistance of a battery when it's actually being charged. A lot of chargers allow you to just cycle through and test that. A little bit disappointed in that. It's one of the things I personally do, just kind of monitor how the resistance is being affected in my batteries. And when the resistance starts to creep up, it's time to retire that battery. There's no power switch at the back. I wish there was. That would be nice to be able to leave it plugged into the wall and then just be able to flick the switch at the back and have that powered. And the other thing that's a bit disappointing is there's no USB cable. There's a USB port here at the bottom, which is designed for firmware updates. However, I think a charger like this really needs to have a couple of USB ports at the side. There are lots of things in the hobby, everything from DJI goggles, GoPros, and loads of other things that needs to be charged via a USB cable. And a big charger like this has loads of room to have a couple of ports on that. So hopefully G.T.Power are watching, and if all future chargers, they'll consider adding those two things. So when this is turned on and powered, there's also a nice 5 volts, even if it's only for your mobile phone, to keep that topped up while you're using it to monitor what's going on the charger. So in summary, the performance of this has been absolutely fine. It does feel like a rather old school charger, but the performance and the way it's worked here has been very solid. Does seem to be rather a large package with lots of empty space inside, particularly at the top and rear, but I guess that just is the way that this is built out. I'm used to chargers that are a little bit smaller and compact that are quite weighty and don't waste any space inside at all. So if you've been looking at one of these, then hopefully that's helpful. Again, if you have one of these or one of the other G.T.Power chargers, do post your experiences down below. I'm genuinely interested to see what kind of a manufacturer is, how long do these things last, and what, if you have a problem with it, what the kind of backup and warranty is like. Thank you for watching the video. If you watch my videos and find them useful, then please take a moment to hit the like and subscribe button. It helps the channel a lot. If you really like what I'm doing here, you can become a Patreon and support the time I spend helping others and get access to lots of exclusive benefits. Link is in the video description. Remember that all the videos on the channel are organized into playlists, so you can easily use those playlists to find all the videos on a subject that you are interested in. Add Painless 360 to your searches on Google and YouTube, and it'll help you find my content for any particular topic. Thanks again for watching, and as always, happy flying.